Today's webinar's distinguished guests, honorable speakers, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Zara Muhammad Rani. I am a senior lecturer at the Department of Tourism Management at the Faculty of Hotel and Tourism Management, Universiti Teknologi Mara, Pulau Pinang branch, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. On behalf of the organizers, I would like to extend my welcome to today's guest of honors, Assistant Professor Dr. Paitun Monpatong, Dean of Graduate School of Tourism Management, National Institute of Development Administration, our Head of Center Studies, Associate Professor Dr. Hashim Fazil Arifin, and our two beautiful speakers from Thailand, Associate Professor Dr. Anne Suwari Ashton from National Institute of Development Administration, NIDA. And from Sabah, we have Madam Silverina from UITM, Sabah, Chairman of IJCHT-21, Dr. Anderson Lambung, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Health, Wellness and Sport Tourism webinar. For your information, this webinar is co-organized by UITM Pulau Pinang branch and National Institute of Development Administration, Thailand, and it is held in conjunction with the International Joint Conference on Hospitality and Tourism 2021. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any question during the presentation, please type them into the question box in your webinar control panel. I'll bring them up during the question session at the end of each presentation. And ladies and gentlemen, to begin with, I would like to invite Assistant Professor Dr. Paitun Monpatong, Dean of Graduate School of Tourism Management, National Institute of Development Administration, to deliver her welcoming remarks and officiating the webinars. Please welcome Assistant Professor Dr. Paitun Monpatong.
สวัสดีค่ะ So I hope you can hear me well. So Associate Professor Dr. Hashim Fazil Afrin, Head of the Center, UITM, Cawangan, Pulau, Pinang, distinguished speakers, honorable guests, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on behalf of the Graduate School of Tourism Management, the co-organizer of the webinar on health, wellness and sport tourism, which is in conjunction with the International Joint Conference on Hospitality and Tourism Management 2021. I have a great pleasure and honor to share this opening session. I'd like to point out here that at present, many countries, including Thailand, use health, wellness and sport tourism as a powerful engine to drive tourism intensively. Thai tourism attracts the tourism for developed and developing regions. Is increase an economy of not only developed country, but also small and underprivileged countries, which otherwise are rich in conventional methods of health. The core essence, the core essence of seeking out wellness is the improvement in health, which automatically lead to an enhanced quality of life. Therefore, many countries are now beginning to recognize the value of the health, wellness, and sport as tourism products and marketing tools in attracting the potential to visit to the destination. So this webinar surely provides opportunity for all audiences to obtain valuable and relevant knowledge to undertake the significance of health, wellness, and sport tourism for new or changes to development policies and plans. So today we can see that Faculty of the Hotel and Tourism Management, Universiti Teknologi Mara Cawangan, Pulau Pinang, and the Graduate School of Tourism Management, National Institute of Development Administration have worked collaboratively together on this fruitful event to contribute to capacity building in health, wellness, and sport tourism in our region by equipping the professionals and with knowledge and skill to conduct through this issue with a holistic view of health, wellness, and sport tourism. I hope that all of us here who are today will apply for it for the future career. This is my hope that this course act as a catalyst toward this type tourism and continue to grow as we strengthen our capacity to sustain the tourism, especially after COVID-19. Again, on behalf of the co-organizer of the webinar on health, wellness, and sport tourism, I would like to thank the speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Suwari and Ashton, and the practical nurse, the Sivarina and Annabelle Kibat from UITM Cawangan, Pulau, Pinang for sharing the knowledge with the audience today. And may I take this opportunity also to express my sincere appreciation for Associate Professor Dr. Hashim Fasil Afrin and Dr. Sahara Mohammed Rani for their great efforts and input to this webinar. Finally, I would like to wish you all good health and hope that this course will fulfill our objectives. Thank you for your attention.
All right. Thank you, Assistant Professor Dr. Paitun Munpatong, for the remarkable speech. All right. Before we begin with our presentation, we would like the participant to switch on their camera for a photo session. This is because our guest of honor, Assistant Professor Dr. Paitun Munpatong, unable to join us until the end of the session. So, ready, everyone? So, Mr. Faisal, please get ready. Okay, so we wait for a while. Right, Faisal, ready? Okay, it's okay.
All right.
All right, ready, smile. 1, 2, 3.
One more.
All right, one more. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, next page.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Faisal. All right. Now let's begin with our webinar. Associate Professor Dr. Ann will start the session, followed by Madam Silverina. Right now, without further ado, I will turn the time over to Associate Professor Dr. Ann. Professor Dr. Ann graduated with a PhD and master's degree from the University of Queensland, Australia. She is currently working as the Associate Dean for Administration at the Graduate School of Tourism Management, National Institute of Development Administration, NIDA, in Bangkok, Thailand. She has experience working in the hotel industry and spent the 2008 until 2010 school years as a teaching assistant at the University of Queensland in Australia and also universities in New Zealand. She is presently conducting research projects in the areas of wellness, tourism, spa and beauty, long-distance running, destination image development, street food tourism, and international retirement migration development. The above mentioned projects are Thai government funded. Without any delay, please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Ann with the topic, a strategy to develop wellness destination in the new normal tourism, a theoretical and practical approach. Professor Ann, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you very much for the introduction, and I'm very glad to be here. And thank you for everyone to put this together, I'm sure. And also, I would like to express my thanks to my dean, Assistant Professor Paitun Monpantong, who have a very busy schedules, and now she currently in Phuket. So do some many duties. So thank you so much. And also, I would like to thank you all for the organizer, and thank you everyone to be here. And of course, today, hopefully, I will be able to share my knowledge about the wellness tourism and also the my case study that we can learn together today. So, as we said that the topic today will talking about the strategic. Next slide, please. The talking about the strategic of the develop wellness destination in the new normal tourist. And today it will be a theoretical approach and practical for the wellness tourism. Next, please. outline for today. First, that I will talk about the wellness traveler marketing, the type of them, and the wellness tourism definition and the attribute of the wellness, and what are those activities that will be included in the wellness tourism. And also, I have about 10 case studies, but I will try to point the significant point that we can learn together today. First of all, I would like to identify the type of the tourist, of wellness tourist. Basically, if you will have a look overall after critical point that I have learned for the last 3 years, I focus heavily on about wellness and wellness life and wellness tourism, and also about life working life balance. I found that there are only two types of the wellness tourists. First, that the type of the tourists who are determined to go to the destination for just only to participate in activities that they like to do in terms of the wellness. For example, like the destination in Thailand and many destinations in India and in Nepal, where they have very famous in terms of the wellness. So the second type of the wellness tourists is basically they love their health. They have look after, maintain themselves. But when they go to travel, they tend to maintain their health. Wherever they go, they will try to find the place to participate. So I give you myself, for instance, I have a regular maintain myself. I'm doing a wellness. And then when I go everywhere around the world, and there are many people like me, you try to look for a gym, you try to look for the activities that they can maintain their regular health exercise. So hence, next, it become to my attention that how can we respond to this kind of the need of the tourists? Basically, the people are traveling, they like to enjoy their life as well, because you live at, you are at work, especially now after new normal of COVID. I believe that the people will like to explore the stressfulness at home, So we've been talking behind the scene a lot that what we're gonna do when we are able to travel again. So that is very, very important for us as a stakeholders, as a lecturer, as a service provider, as the person who provide all the tourism product need to alert and understand about the concept correctly, and understand about theoretical correctly, and understand about a guideline practical to provide those wellness service for after new normal. So that I like to define a little bit about wellness definition. Basically, as I said before, wellness is about the people who are lifestyle oriented towards optimal health, good feeling, or you feel like well-being, in which the body, mind, and soul are united for the sake of more complete life. And they need to be accepted. They need to have mentality. They need to have good emotional, and including the spiritual retreat. In terms of the wellness tourism, definition is like the person or a journey who our main goal is to achievement the balance and the harmony of the person well-being, especially the physical, especially the mentality. So this is the overall definition of the wellness. So next, I will talk about the concept. I will talk about the concept. This is the model that I draw out after I been to the study, including theoretical, and is a proposed model about foundation wellness study. So I will separate. Overall, I will separate the activities of the wellness into 4 categories. Overall, that the first one, the activities for health is sport and leisure for health. And another one is spa or the massage, that is to boost the immune system and it help for a healthy food. And the last one is could not be left out, that is about the spiritual, where it is people need to have mindfulness, and people need to have mind recovery. However, after four of these activities, what does it do? So basically, it's a basic human need. Next slide. It said that overall of the and then they make contribution to their community. The next well-being, we're talking about the emotional wellness. It means that you are able to control yourself when you have the stress or you dissatisfied or you satisfied. You have the consciousness all the time that any situation you have to be able to control. And unlike now, you will see, every single day now you see the people kill themselves, the people take their own life because just some maybe some simple thing, but some people that think that the problem from each person they are vary, some people can take more, can take less. To have good health, well-being, and good emotional, it's really help the people to think consciously. Another attribute for the people who are needed is about social well-being. What does it mean by that? The people need to be accepted. When the people go out, they need to be one of the society. If they feel that they're part of the society, they feel they're part of the people, and they feel that this is my wellness. So, for example, people are going out, they like to do donation, or maybe they go to do something good for the community, and they're being accepted, they do something, and that is in return make them feel that their life is worth for something, their life valuable. The last attribute of the wellness is about spiritual wellness. It's referred to religion or non-religion. The people are going out seeking for mindfulness, seeking for a retreat. I didn't mean that this one, the people going out and become a nun or become a priest. Some people have a time, need a time for themselves. They're going out, they stay in peaceful, or they do some activities that to boost their mind recover. So these kind of the activities is maybe, for example, like yoga or meditation. And I will talk later about details of the activities. And next, next slide. Okay, so over the past 3 years, and now my project is going on, and some of the project, all of the project is about the wellness, and also is a gap that is missing that we need to contribute. So over about 10 project now I'm doing that project is I separate the project into the category that I mentioned before, like four activities, and we will have the project that focus on sport and tourism and leisure. Some of them focus on the spa destination development. They are talking about smart, yet about aging. So all of these, and I will try to point the strategy out, and then some of the project we already have the results. And also we not forget to mention about the wellness for the Muslim, for the halal wellness, so we also talk about that. And apart from that, another project I'm talking about people who have uh, life cycle, who stay in the destination where we have tourists. And I found that no one talk about them, that how they feel when we have a tourist in their destination. So one of the project we will talk about is life cycle in the destination that become community-based tourism. So a study on wellness destination development. So the first project, next slide, please. Yes, next. Okay. From this topic, I found that as you know that the rate number are dropping, and also the next 4 or 5 years, and I found that, and also a current trend you can see now, we have less birth of the newborn baby, but we sleep longer, we stay longer, and our life is stay longer. So we will have a number of percentage of the retirement people or the active aging, that is a small number of those people are coming. And I found that there is still lack of understanding and about active aging, about retirement one. If you compare about retirement people in the old day, in our generation, where my grandfather, 60 years old, they sit at home, they are look after baby, they are ready to retire, they are ready to be sit, go nowhere. But if you have a look at now, the people our age at 50, you feel like they're still wearing dress like they are teenager, or the elderly people, they go out and bicycle and go to do long running. It's the new change of that picture are going on. It not going on for a long time. In the past 2 or 3 years, we're starting to see like that. However, when I go back to have a look about the strategic management, how we will propose, how we will understand these people, so that these are some of the research project that I starting to develop with my PhD student. So we are now ongoing to collect data. We go to the research proposal, So one of a trend that we are thinking of is about the people who have pre-retirement age, and combination with IT, about the smart tourism. As you know now, the people over age 60 or age are able to use a smartphone, especially in the during COVID-19. Everyone now, have used the online, have used purchase everything online. So this study, we will develop the intention behavior model of the pre-retirement age group, and to be wellness tourists. Why this study is important? You know what? A lot of people now they're thinking about their health more, and also we don't want to wait for them or provide activities for them when they retire. We like to do for them that during they still have money, during they still can move around. How can we persuade them to jump into the participate in some kind of wellness activities when they retire? They still have good health. So this is what we think about. So next slide, please. So this study, we are combined with the current trend, IT, developing application and IT, and this study focus on only pre-retirement age. The person who have age 40 and below, that will be our target. What we like to know, that what is the psychology strategy, this one. We like to know that what make them want to be a tourist, a wellness tourist. We will draw the impact. We will draw the motivation factor that they have and put it together, and then we will develop the application, smart tourism wellness application, and then all the people are able to use, and then we will get at the end of the day, we want to get the stakeholders to provide a destination for this group of people, and maybe the elderly and the active aging, or the people who under the 50 will have different needs about activities. Next slide, please. This is a model that we found that we combine between attitude toward our wellness activities, and basically we have the persuasion psychology model, and we will measure about their satisfaction, and after that intention to participate with the activities, and then that become their behavior. The end of the day, we will propose this strategy. How can we make the people who never ever want to travel for wellness, and eventually wellness, traveling, even in daily life, become part of their life. Their wellness life will become part of their behavior. And this is model is still ongoing, and we believe that hopefully we will can present this some other time soon. Next slide, please. And next study. This study this is I'm doing with my PhD student, and then now ongoing with the publication. This topic is about wellness experience activity design for the active aging. Before that, I'm thinking about for the under and below 50, but this one I'm talking about the people who have 50 but not retired. So how can we create the experience, wellness experience for them? So may I define a little bit about the active aging? So active tourists have different purposes in terms of the activities. They like to appreciate nature environment and for example adventure, participate in the people in other culture or the heritage. Visit people, learn about knowledge about local environment, interact with the people, and see a unique lifestyle and experience different desirable, and they avoid a medical alternative to treatment or some kind of the nature killing or healing by nature. Next slide, please. So this study basically we interview the people who have age 50 and above by in that interview before the COVID-19. And after that, we ask them, what make them have great experience when they participate in the wellness tourism. Next slide. At the end of the study, we found that the people are like to have authenticity, and people like to participate in a destination where they have less people. They like to join with the local, and the most important thing that it's a surprise that 50 at age 50 group, they like to go for bicycle, they like to go for hiking, and some of them like to have like interactive in the nature. And another study, this one is one of the study that already have done. So we interview the retirement people who enjoy doing wellness activity. We ask them about why they like to join and what make them to join. So for example, the retirement, I give you retirement may be different and vary. But this study, we set the retirement age at 60 years old, and a person who began to retire and then they have nothing to do, so they maybe look after their kid at home or something like that. And then we like to know that what the activities they participate that, and why, and what they think in their mind to go out for the activity. So at the end of the day, we like to know that how can we provide those activities for the retirement people, not only the people in the resident in our country. We also like to have a package to provide retirement wellness package for those people who come to visit us in our destination. Next slide. This study, they're talking about push and pull motivation, and push and pull motivation. These are some of the results. The people said they're going out because of they want to have a wellness lifestyle. The purpose of the participating that the time they go very often. Usually they go with their partner, and these group of people expenses maybe, as some of them retirement with the big money, some of them not a lot of money. They try to stay with their budget, but they still enjoy their life. So as we ask them, about the internal motivation, of course, like I said in the previous slide, that the attribute of the wellness are physical, social, emotional, and intellectual and spiritual. So for the external motivation that they choose, they said that if they go out, they like to participate in the attractive activities. It can be any activities, but don't think that retirement, you just only sitting there and watch the bird and do bushwalking and light exercise. Some of them do extreme, but depends. So they need to have a very different activities, but the most concern, this study said that safety is very important. And they found that when they go out, they like to have CCTV, they like to have camera, they like to have something to protect them. So this is the finding that we found. Next slide, please. Next, please. So at the end, that behavior of this group, like for example, I highlight here the walking, the easily walking and the no danger. They want to strengthen their body and mind. They have actually they said 5 or more times when they're going out regularly. So basically, in each week they're probably 4 or 5 days, and the time that they're going out, they said about 1 to 2 hours. And then the source of wellness activity, they said the most information from friends. The source that they like to have, that the inference source of information, it's about from friends, word of mouth. Sometimes the people also look into the websites where they can go. And here is the expenses. It's interesting. They said each time they go, they like to spend less than 500 baht in some activities. Some activities, for example, like dancing or ballroom dancing and something like that. And thank you. Next, please. Okay, this one I already mentioned about that. We go to the next one. Okay, the next activities about wellness. We're talking about a long distance running. Remember that I told you that the activities of the wellness is about sport and leisure for health. So one of the research that we doing is we want to know about how we can develop a destination. Next slide, please. How can we develop the destination for the people who want to join their trail running, or they want to join about marathon running, and how can we provide the destination for them? Next slide. How can we provide the destination for them? And here is some of a study. One of our study we are doing now as well, that about adventurous well-being tourism, the development for eudaimonic experience as a self-actualization. So what does it mean by eudaimonic experience? Next slide. We found in the literature, and we also see in the current phenomenon, many people want to have that self-actualization. So to read that self-actualization, everyone have the different goal. So in our study, we are interested that whether can we develop adventure tourism as a wellness activities. Many think about, wow, adventure can be safe. Adventure have to be hanging on the cliff, and it must be dangerous. How could you say that adventure is dangerous? So in our thinking, we convert that. We found some study always talking about adventure and talking about activities, but we want to propose this adventure tourism as a wellness activity towards fulfill the people eudaimonic experience. Eudaimonic experience is about the ultimate happiness. I give you some example. Some people said, in my lifetime, if I can climb to the Everest, and this is my fulfillment, is my self-actualization, and I achieve my goal. And if I can go to eat food in Thailand, this is my ultimate goal. So this is called eudaimonic experience. So our study want to propose, and we want to create a model that develop adventure tourism activities, and then hence to fulfill people well-being and to reach eudaimonic experience. Next slide. So this study we are ongoing, so, and this is our model. It's the doesn't come. So this is our proposed model. We're talking about wellness adventure activities. We will ask them about the tourist perception, and then we will ask about the eudaimonic experience. Next slide. So eventually, we would like to see that what is the factor that make them fulfill their eudaimonic experience. Example, next one, please. Go back to the eudaimonic experience definition. Next one. Okay, this one, okay, I missed this one. This is important. The eudaimonic experience, I give you the components of that. You maybe have the question in mind. What is it eudaimonic? As a theoretical said that there are 6 attributes to reach that eudaimonic experience. The first thing is you have the create positive relationship. You have self-acceptance yourself. You have the purpose in life and environmental mastery and autonomy and then personal growth. This is the attribute of the people who, if they achieve this, they will have health and well-being. So in our study, we propose that for example, if I give you some example, if we take part in the adventure tourism activities, what kind of activities that make them have self-acceptance? We maybe ask them, for example, if I can walk about above sea level for 4,000 above sea level, that is my self-actualization. I give you some example from my own personal. I feel that I don't want to go to the Mount Everest. I think I'm incapable. However, in my lifetime, I feel that after 50, if I still be able to climb the mountain and then safety, and I have someone provide me with the activities and give me comfort and give me fulfill of my dream, and then I come back home with have everything complete the same before I left, and that I fulfill, and it is called my eudaimonic experience. And then this will lead to your self-actualization, where as Maslow said, the last thing that people want is self-actualization. It means you achieve everything. We can say that this propose the people to have well-being, and if you die in peace because you have done everything in your life. Okay, go to the trail running, please. Slides. Right. This is another study. We, as you may know, that the trail running is for health. Next one. We will do study about how can we develop a destination for those people who need to go for trail running, but not as a competitive. Nowadays, you maybe see only the people go, okay, I want to get the award. I want to get the traveling around the world. But in our study, we contribute that how can they go and also not to depress yourself. And I see some people, they are mad, they go to run for 100K, 100 kilometers, or they want to go across the border. They push themselves too hard. You will hear many people die on the walking track or on the running track. We don't want to put that too far, make people too straight, but we like to propose this model is how can we make people go for trail running and then not put too much stress in them, and how can we develop these activities for the wellness people. Trail running, it means that the people who are going out and run not in a normal track. So this study we develop trail running purposes. Go further forward. The development of trail running for health purposes. Next one, please. Next slide. Okay. This study we will interview the people. We will collect data, and now we just already do a semi interview, and then we will get in a result. But roughly idea we have initiative. So the trail running we were talking about, wellness push and pull factor. And we talking about the destination, the wellness push and pull factor. We're not going to ask only about what can we provide, but how can we provide and make them have good health and wellness. So next slide, please. This one is already have the study. It's a long distance running. So go to the next slide. This one we done our study during the COVID-19, the long distance running in Thailand that very famous. And our study we interview all the organizer where they organize about the long distance running. Many people go. This is a very first long marathon running in Thailand. Next slide. So our study, we go to interview, the aim is we want to study tourism destination management for a long distance running. And we talking about how to provide the destination for people and how can we get the community to participate. This study very, very unique. Next slide. This study very, very unique, that we see that the people in the community are coming out and all the wrong track of running. We will have the school participate. We will have the community cheer up. Give us the food. The runner are run with peaceful. When we run, we know that. For example, if we run a marathon 42 kilometers, we will have the stop by during the time. Each village they will have some fruit for us. We have water for us, and some of them dancing. Cheer us up. This is very unique for the a runner. They said that they like to participate in a destination and we feel have a peace of mind. Also, they get the help, but they're not straight because the time to run they give you a duration. You just go into the time and then they enjoy during the time. They said that long distance running is not a destination, it's a journey. And this is exactly right. So we draw out some strategy from this study, and at the end we will see at the finding. Next, please. And this is some of a study that we have, and I also go to run this one as well. And unfortunately, I cannot do marathon, so I do only half. Next one, please. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, this one is very important, very interesting. So the a proposed strategic model of this one, we like to propose that to think about spa and Thai massage crisis management in a small business during the coronavirus 19 pandemics. Next slide. So this study coming up from our observed in current trend, and also about everywhere around the world, in Thailand and everywhere, the spa are closed. The people are so scared. The people who are working there are so scared as well because it's the most business that you interact. You very close to the tourists. So our study we want to make sure that after new normal, how can this business can back into normal and make people feel comfortable, and how the tourists feel comfortable to go, and then how the people to provide that not going to get COVID-19. So, and a small business nowadays, as you can see, not only in Thailand, a small business and spa that totally closed. And I asked the other day, a student and a former student, they're working as a tour guide. They see the effect of the spa, and the people are now go back home, and the people have go back to sell food and sell something like that. So how can we make them to survive? And this study will draw out about first thing that how can we cope with the situation, how can we manage about crisis management, and how can we make a small business management to become a service nowadays. As you will see, many tourists, even ask yourself, many tourists that don't want to go to the massive place, they don't want to go to a big crowded place. And a study said, so the people are avoid to in the big city. So the small business after COVID-19, I believe if you manage properly, you put the crisis management plan properly, and then you delivered a service after new normal to the staff. And we believe that it will be one of the a strategy that it can help after COVID, after the pandemics. So this one here, for example, business management, we propose that we will talk about the environment, we will talk about the strategy, and then also we will refer about the financial, about the human resources, and about how you operate, and then return and development of the the financials. Next one, please. The study, this will be interview or the small business spa around southern region of Thailand, where this one is part of the government's plan. So we believe that the outcome will be coming soon. So next one, please. Next one. So this one we will be talking about how you create the destination image and using local wisdom. So this study will want to create a model by using Lana style. Lana style means that north of Thailand we have a very unique culture. So what we want to do is to help this destination where they have potential. Next slide, where they have potential resources. So, for example, many around the world have that. But I give this one as a case study. We have the hot spring. We have a very unique culture, Lana North style. We have a very a healthy food using the local food. And then how can we propose this destination to become a well-known and have the good image by using a model of destination image uniqueness model. So for example here about the spa tourism, we talk about the wellness oriented infrastructure. So we're thinking about that if you will develop that, do you have the infrastructure that support about wellness? Do you have a special accommodation? What I'm talking about is you have to think about when you go to spa or when you go to do meditation, you need to have a proper accommodation, not just normal. Or you have the sacred size that people maybe, if they believe in religion, local wisdom, information distribute, and the staff qualification and the wellness attribute. Next one, please. And here is our study. We have in-depth interview with the stakeholders and tourists and local authority, how they doing and do they know it or not, and what do they want, So, and next one, please. Next one, please. Next one. All right. So after we develop a model, uniqueness model, another activities that I'm talking about that you need to develop nutrition. And one thing is about healthy food. This study, we already done our study, and then we propose about the destination, slow food destination development. Next one. So maybe many of you have heard, maybe never heard about that, or maybe heard about that. So this study, we propose about slow food destination image development model of ethnocentrism tourists, a case study, Chiang Mai, Thailand. So maybe I explain a little bit about ethnocentrism. So ethnocentrism means that the people who love to be in the conservative place, the people who love to reserve the culture, the people who love to keep everything the same, who love the nature, who love the environment. Everywhere they go, if they see between something new and modern and destroy environment and the other one that reserve the environment, they will go to protect that. So this study, we want to know that what made these people willing to reserve, willing to participate in the environment sustainable, willing to reserve about the old traditional culture. We like to draw their strong, unique design and develop into a model. And we like the people in the next generation or this generation who did not realize that to take the healthy food, to participate in the nutrition food and travel for good food. It doesn't mean you lost the fun, you lost the leisure time. So this model will produce you with, if you propose this model to the stakeholders, you will know that how to propose this product and service. Can I have the next slide? So here, and I give you some definition. Slow food, it means that 3 words: good, clean, and fair. Good food is tasty, and diverse, and is produced in just a way to maximize flavor and geography, culture, region. Clean food is sustainable and help to preserve rather than destroy. And slow food tourism and another fair mean that the people who use the local ingredient direct from farm, and we treat each other very fair. For example, we're not gonna be using the middleman to go to the farming and then they get less money. We buy direct from farm. We also even consider the staff who are working with us. We will give them a fair wages. We will give them treat them like ethnocentrism. It means that in the conservative way. So the slow food tourism is a new model for the food tourism, focusing on traveling whose slow food destination. It made up for the exchange and meeting with local farmer, and you have get the hands on and you learn about the storytelling. Slow food tourism also including that the history of the dishes that you maybe have to provide. Tourists need to know that. The person who proposed that need to understand about how the dishes come from, and then this way it direct to the ethnocentrism is that you reserve the culture, you reserve the culinary history. So next one, please. This is a purpose model that we have, that is still ongoing, but we believe that eventually we will get the a strategic purpose of slow food tourism based on the ethnocentrism sample. So next one, please. Next one. Next one. Okay. The last activities that we propose for the wellness is about spiritual, and this study basically we conduct about yoga destination tourism development. So this study focus on we want to know that nowadays the people are interested in yoga, and then we have a festival, the 21st June we just passed the International Yoga Day, and this study we conduct in Hua Hin, southern Thailand, and we interview all those people who involved in the yoga tourism. Next slide. And I remember one of the finding. You know what happened? Before the COVID-19, we have many people travel to this place. As I said, previously the traveler are travel to participate directly, primary for the health. So many tourists come to Thailand and Hua Hin, or maybe to the other, country. So they participate in yoga. So most of the stakeholders and hotel owner not interested much about domestic. Their income relies on the international tourists. And you know what happened? After the COVID-19, everything shut down. The money, income from the international tourists are gone. And this study, we conduct this study during COVID-19, and now it's still not over. You know what happened? Many people say that, oh, that's it. COVID-19 come, my life is dead. I got to kill myself, But this study is turned away that many stakeholders, they are interested that how can we make this for the domestic tourists. And you know what? The outcome coming up, we found that many stakeholders, many tour hotel owner focus on to develop the activities for domestic. And you know what? They are gaining some income. Because we have many domestic, firstly, hey, COVID-19 coming, I can't sit at home all day, and they go out to participate in the activities, not only the yoga. We have some group tour, provide 1 day or 2 days for the domestic tourists. Hotel owner, many hotel down south now, used to hire only temporary yoga instructor, but they're hiring them as a full contract to be there in the hotel because the high demand of the guests, so that the domestic people can go to use that, and they are traveling around, they can't travel overseas, so they feel frustrated, so they feel that they have to do something, and the hotel use this opportunity that develop package, and this is one of a success I guess that it's still not in a big not acknowledged yet in Thailand. But this case study, it can be certainly established for the many hotel or many stakeholders to think about how can we develop and focus on the domestic tourists. So actually domestic tourists are out there, but we just ignore them, so each country now, I think, turn to the domestic, maybe develop the activities for them, not only yoga, maybe about food. You can go to eat healthy food, you can enjoy life, you can have some fun, and still you can consider about social distancing. Next slide. Next slide. Maybe it might be another one. Next slide. Maybe this one will be my last project, I think. Oh no, two more. So this one, many people always think about tourists. Many people think about stakeholders. Many people think about how can we sell, how can we give the good service, how can we get the money. And tourists thinking about what can I get, how can I do, and how can I pressure myself. One thing in a study, in an academic study, still not think about, hey, how about if my destination become tourist destination? How about local resident wellness? Has anyone ever think about that? I give you one example. This study, we want to know about the local resident in community-based tourism. How is their life living? Are they wellness enough? You just thinking about to propose, and then you just thinking about selling. Okay, you want sustainability, I do for you. You want to keep cultural reserve, I'll do for you. But how about those people who are living there? Even though you said money is important, money is not everything. So we think we think about how can we create a model and then make the people who live in the destination of tourists have a good lifestyle, also enjoy, and also have the healthy living, and how to cope with the situation, and how the local resident and tourists have both wellness. So this study, we interview the people who live in community-based tourism, and most of them in this village are 100% participate in developing tourism, and it's been for a long time, and no one do this study. How is their life? Maybe they're not happy, or maybe they're happy, or are they happy enough? Is tourism coming in? Rather not. You stay in the old style, you have better health. So this study, we will talk about product life cycle, when the destination starting to grow, and then when they beginning, they're starting to grow, when they mature, or when they decline. Are the situation of the local lifestyle is still well-being? Okay. Next study. Next, yeah. I think this one, it will be my last project that I propose. So we're talking about the wellness tourism development for the Muslim tourists, focus on halal, friendly, and experience model. This study, and again, we always have for the normal people, and I heard so many friends of mine, so, oh, Professor, and I go to spa, and I have go to do my spa, and the next door they have a man as well. And I understand now, how you feel that actually it shouldn't be like that way. But how can we propose and understand those people who have specific need? And this one, it will be a niche market tourism. We want to propose the model, and we're talking about, we want to do wellness. We want to create the experience design for those people. And then we understand about a certain characteristic of the people who are in a different belief. And maybe this model, I believe that maybe not only for the Muslim people, but a case study we will do with the people who believe in a certain religion. So wellness, halal, friendly, and experience model, what we're going to do, we're going to study about, all 5 attributes of the wellness. And then we will create experience design for them. For example, we want them to have authenticity. We want him have to happy before they go and after return, so, and we understand about the characteristic of those people. So the people who will provide that are able to do either you are non-religion, but you understand and you do exactly the same as the tourists need to have because their belief and their faith. Okay, so at the end, I think my case study that finished. So in summary, go to the summary slides. All right. So after overall, from what I give you example today, so destination wellness destination development is very in need, and there is one top 5 in the world, and also is a plan that everyone need to understand about basic foundation, need to understand about the attribute, need to understand about how they were created. So the tourist market, you need to focus on either young people and either people in middle age or retirement age. Specifically, retirement and active aging is a main trend in the world, and also about the specific need for the niche market who have a belief and faith. Wellness believe in 5 areas to improve, and 4 areas, to improve. It's about their physical health, mentality, emotional. They need to be part of the society, and they need to have spiritual well-being recover. The strategy to propose the wellness tourism consider the trend tourism group, especially active aging, and the activities that we provide for them. We need to understand, and a new activity, adventure tourism for Eudaimonic experience, and develop about activities for the retirement. You understand about nutrition or healthy food by develop slow food destination image development. Not to forget, use application with the wellness destination, a smart wellness destination tourism. So we are using IT as part of our life. Use the benefit of that. So at the end, I believe that the purpose and the strategy of the wellness destination that I'm talking today will be ongoing, and it will be put forward for the model to develop and make it as a holistic wellness destination development. And if any expert listen to this or anyone are interested, you want to contribute, you want to suggest, you're welcome. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Ann, for the insightful information. We appreciate you taking the time to share these very useful resources. Again, thank you very much, Prof. Ann, for the information. We really enjoyed the session. We are now going to begin answering the questions submitted during today's presentation. As a reminder, you can still submit questions through the chat box in your attendee control panel. But before we proceed, if possible, I would like to ask that all participants to switch on the camera so that we can see you. Okay, Prof. Ann, well, first question here. Right, I have the question here in my phone now. All right. The first question from Philippines, right? Kamelkai S. Apolinario from Leichem of the Philippines Laguna. Right, the question is, what is the importance of understanding our spiritual life? Can I repeat? What is the importance of understanding our spiritual life?
That's a very good question. I like to address that. You know, nowadays people are basically, I think, you know, people have been, our world is being developed a lot, you know. You have a lot of medicine, you have a lot of modern wellness for the killing thing, you know, not like in the old day. So basically our physical, we almost have what we want. I give you people go surgery. You not look good looking. You just do surgery. The people at 60, you still look like a 30, right? But nowadays could not heal spiritual. So that I focus that wellness is about spiritual. No any other doctor can do that unless you realize yourself. So how can we do that? We need to understand that what is your needs in your soul? What is you need to do, and maybe what made you feel better? And I give you I compared you two things from my experience. I have one person go to the yoga, and as a yoga doing, it need to cool and concentrate and slow move. And I have one of my friend going there. She said she walked out in 10 minutes. She said, no, I can't do that because it's too slow. I can't stay still for 5 minutes. I have to move. And that is about spiritual. You know that people don't have mind to sit for only 5 minutes. I used to tell people, hey, have you ever sit down there and meditation 5 minutes? And some of my friends, no, I can't end. Only 5 minutes. I think that I stay there for half an hour. So the spiritual is important that because if you can cool yourself down and you can sit there without thinking of anything, and it will recover about your stress inside. You come to realize about yourself. The person who just starting, I can give you advice that you do 5 minutes every morning. If you cannot do 5 minutes, just doesn't matter. Start 5 minutes every morning and you will understand about spiritual recover. And those who want to participate, that there are many activities like I give you before, you know, like you maybe start with yoga, you maybe start, if yoga you're not good, doesn't matter. It's not about the perfect pose, but it's about get yourself and be cool. And to start at home, 5 minutes, and then every single day you will understand about how spiritual is important. And you can do anything outside yourself, but in the spirit is very important. I hope I can answer this question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. And we have another question here from Sabah. All right. From Valerie Sanchus Sulin binti Abdullah. Her question is, should there be any damage control plans to deal with those with an unsound mind or those who break down in the wellness destination? I repeat, should there be any damage control plan to deal with those with an unsound mind or those who break down in the wellness destination?
Okay. I think my own opinion anyway. Okay. I think that before we will have a sound mind, we need to have a sound body. What does it mean by the sound body? The sound body is you look after yourself. Sound mind is a product of a sound body. A product of a sound body is about how do you eat yourself, how what you are, what you eat, you know, how you manage about your own health first. If you don't have a sound body, you maybe can't have a sound mind. So the person who thinking going out and then you know you may be unable to understand, or you may be it's not about others. I think it start from yourself. It start from how you will manage about what you are, who you are. And I believe that a sound body in a sound body and a sound mind, and I believe that a sound mind could not have that before we have a sound body. Have a good food. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. And our third question is from Siti Fatimah Azira binti Salihi. Her question is, what are the long-term and short-term effects of COVID-19 on wellness tourism development during the new normal tourism? Again, what are the long-term and short-term effects of COVID-19 on wellness tourism development during the new norm tourism?
Okay, thank you. It's a very good question. I like that. I love this question, but it doesn't mean the last two I don't like. Okay, I like both. But this one is very, very good. I'm talking about short term first. I'm talking about short term mean that maybe in 1 year, 2 years, or after. Actually, we are in a new normal. Don't say we will be in a new normal. We already in new normal last 2 years ago since the COVID-19 start. But what is next new normal for our life in terms of wellness? And that very important question. Next new normal mean that, hey, I already stay at home now. I already talk to you guys around the world from my university. But how can we develop those wellness? First thing that I said, you know, start from ourselves. But we cannot go by ourselves. We cannot live alone. If you safe, the other not safe, you can't. We cannot leave anyone behind. In a short term, in my opinion, we need to reach out and help people. They have the people the other day I saw, he only sell the food truck, and he cried because the situation, and he have 2 kids. People need to reach out. No one can stay and do nothing. The short term for me is we need to get everyone can be in the next new normal with good wellness and with good mental, and then we can start together. In the long term, I believe that all the strategy need to be understand by the people from don't not in that industry until the person who are expert. I believe that the strategy, there are many strategy. I did not mean that mine is the best, but this is what I propose, because I believe that from my study, from my academic term, academic gap, and from the current trend, the next 4 or 5 years, 10 years, I believe that people need to understand about the concept. Only when I said that what is active aging, what is low food tourism, what is about the adventure tourism. When I talk about adventure tourism can be wellness, the people still don't understand. How come adventure tourism is become a wellness? They don't understand. Easy, simple word. So we all, I urge all the expert in this area put together and focus on from a local village, not about in the country level. As a strategic plan every single day now, I see them launch that. Sorry to say that, it never work. There are many obstacles. Whatever you do, you have to go there, you pass through about 10 steps to reach the strategy and develop. The people are dying. By that time, when you develop that, they're already too late. I urge that we need to start from a small. We need to start from everyone, not just one person. And we need to go together. In the next 4 or 5 years, the people who have not in the industry need to understand that what is the concept of wellness and what are those activities can be developed. What is the right way that we can develop and how can develop with no stress, with happiness. We doing with our heart. We not do because of money. We not do because of, nowadays, like the people, many people die from COVID-19, very rich, cannot take money, cannot buy anything because they die because COVID-19 take them. And I need many people to realize that, and to start with, I think the spiritual will start you from that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Ann, for the explanation just now. Right, we have next question here from Ahmad Ridwan bin Abu Bakar. His question is, what are the challenges in developing wellness destination in new normal tourism? I repeat, what are the challenges in developing wellness destination in new normal tourism?
Maybe a couple answer that I come across and I face. The first one is to be wellness. It's not just you do because other people do. You do from yourself first. Be yourself, find out yourself. But to be a wellness is have to have discipline. Once you do something from the bottom of your heart, there is no limitation. You will show yourself with your dignity of wellness. And that is a limitation. The people doing something now, you know what? Oh, that person do. Oh, she will be famous. She will get money. And I do the same. And it not last long. And I see many people try to do that. It doesn't last long because they're not come from a real interest. If you are really interested in that area, and I believe the people who will determine to make this happen. And the second thing is, being a wellness is discipline. You have 2 things. You have interest, you have discipline, and then you have the people, the same interest. You build the community so that now, I try to inspire people. I try to tell people that, hey, we need to show ourselves first, that you need to be wellness first. You need to have work-life balance. You need to go through your own laziness, your tiredness. And I ask people how you do that. And I tell people, first thing you create your own inspiration, and the second thing you have to have your own discipline. You overcome these two things. There is no limitation for us to help and develop the destination wellness for the world. And I believe that the next 4 or 5 years, I hope that we will have put together, and then we will develop together. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. N, for the detailed explanation just now. Here I have two questions from Jessica from the University of Ottawa. Right. The first question is regarding the spiritual attributes of wellness. What exactly constitute the non-religious experiences associated with spirituality? Right.
Maybe I can separate into two parts. Okay. The spiritual retreat tourism, it can be you take parts in the religion. Okay. And another spiritual, it like you go out, you just want to explore your spiritual and mind by participating in the activities that related to spiritual retreat. So the first one, the first spiritual, like for example, you go to Mecca, for the Muslim people, you maybe go to the temple like Buddhist people, you go to participate in the ritual merit that you feel that you believe that you do this thing will make you have karma. You will sit in the temple, listen to the monk chanting, you feel better when you go home. And that is the starting. However, some people said, oh, I feel when I go to temple, Thai people say, oh, when I go to temple, I feel hot, or some people that I'm not ready. But are there any other alternative way that I can start to have the spiritual recover? So many people said, okay, my spiritual recover, I like to go to work in the place that's very quiet and peaceful. Or I go to sit in the place where there is no traffic, no mobile phone, no nothing. And then I sit in the people who have the same thing. I think maybe it's not only about the place. At home, you also can be spiritual retreat. You just have to set yourself. So in my opinion, I will separate the spiritual retreat attribute into two parts. First one is about religion. You go to have you perform yourself, you believe and you have faith. And by participating in religion, another spiritual is about yourself. Take yourself into the activities that help you to retreat, recover your mind and your body. That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. N. And last question. This is very detailed question. Right. Her question is the concept of eudaimonism is related to the concept of flow. I have also come across the term hedonism in wellness tourism literature. How is the concept of hedonism applied in the context of adventure tourism? Is there a scale of spectrum that defines the boundary between hedonism and also hedonism?
Okay. Yeah, that's good question. Very good question. I will take you to the end. Your eudaimonic experience actually is about the people who are happy. Easy, simple word. Eudaimonic is about happiness. Everyone want to have happiness. Either you hedonic or you do some of the fulfillment or anything. Eudaimonic experience is the end of well-being. It means that happiness. And that happiness is part lead to self-actualization. So at the end of the well-being of the people, back go to Maslow, and I think at the foundation of this theory said that the end of our life, we have shelter, we have physical need, we have social need, we have self-esteem. At the end, we have self-actualization. Ask yourself that, what makes you happy? What is your self-actualize? What is your goal in your life? Some people said, my goal is I want to be the chef. And when they be the chef, they're happy. My goal is I just want to be able to stay in the bush and I can walk to see the nature, and that's my self-actualization. But not everyone can reach there yet. So mean that we try to make our way to go to the self-actualization. Eudaimonic, in my opinion, is a bridge, a pathway to lead us to the self-actualization. So eudaimonic experience is something, whatever you do, make you happy. Not only about adventure tourism. Adventure tourism is one of a case study that we try to draw out. You know, how can we make that to read to the eudaimonic? It means self-acceptance. For example, if people always say to you that, oh, the person like you never can climb the mountain. You're so scared. You are so weak. You have, you know, some people maybe have something in their mind like that. And after that, okay, I will prove them. So one day I will train myself and I will make my physical health that's good. And then I'll show them that I can climb the mountain or I can be a healthy person. Some people have different background inside themselves. So the way to make their happiness is different. Maybe eudaimonic experience is not only can go through by adventure tourism. Eudaimonic experience happiness like me. I said every single day I create my own activities. I said if I don't go to gym, I'm mad, I stress. Or I said to people, to my student, that if I don't write, I feel stressed. So I have to go to write academic. The student asked me, oh, Prof, how can you do that? The more I read, the more I stress. You see, people have different mind and different background. So in my opinion, eudaimonic experience, easy, simple, explain, is mean happiness. How can we make ourselves happiness? How can we make people nearby you happiness? And how can you go through those ego? And that is the most important thing. Thank you.
Okay, again, thank you very much, Prof. Ann, for the Q&A session. I've learned a lot from your presentation just now and also the Q&A session. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now we will turn the time over to our second speaker, Madam Silverina Kibat. Madam Silverina is a senior lecturer at the Universiti Teknologi Mara, Sabah branch of Kota Kinabalu campus. She has 14 years of teaching experience in variety of tourism courses, including tour guiding and planning, and tourism geography and culture. She is currently the head of the Center Studies in the Faculty of Hotel and Tourism Management, where she oversees and monitors 3 different programs at the faculty. As an avid traveler who has visited over 40 different countries around the world, her main passion is finding adventure with the local community and being transformed by the experience, which she would bring it to her teaching and ensure a reciprocal positive effect on the student, as well as in publishing articles and research studies. Her main interests are research revolves around cultural and community studies. Please welcome Madam Silverina with the title of her presentation, Spiritual Experience with Mount Kinabalu, Malaysia's first UNESCO World Heritage Site. Madam Silverina, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, our lovely moderator, Dr. Zahara. What a wonderful introduction, yeah? So, hello everyone. Good morning. I'm Severina from UITM Kota Kinabalu campus. So before I start, let me just share my screen. I hope everyone can see this. All right. So, Kotobian, and a very good morning to everyone. So, first thing first, I would like to say thank you to NIDA Thailand as well as UITM Pinang for inviting me to share a topic that is very close to my heart, and I'm sure it's very close to every Sabahan as well. All right. So, before I start, Kotobian is actually a greeting in Kadazan Dusun language. Kadazan Dusun is one of the biggest, not one of the biggest, it's the biggest ethnic from 42 different indigenous ethnic groups in Sabah, Malaysia, and Borneo. So the topic that I'm going to talk today is about spiritual experience with Mount Kinabalu, Malaysian first UNESCO World Heritage Site. So as we listened earlier on, Dr. Ann has already explained wonderfully about the strategy to develop wellness destination with the new norm. And it was so interesting. I personally learned so much from the presentation. So thank you so much, Dr. Ann. It was indeed a very great sharing. So as the theme for today's webinar is about wellness tourism, let me just refresh back again. As we all know, wellness tourism is one of the fastest profitable segments in the tourism industry. And in the past, we know that it's conventionally associated with spa, meditation, health and medical centers. All right, but today we can see that wellness tourism is more diverse. Like what Dr. Ann explained earlier on, it expanded to various different activities, outdoor activities especially, such as hiking, jungle trekking, when you're participating in any volunteerism, any pilgrimage trips, or even interaction with indigenous culture in any local community. So a study by Warren and Chetri here, it says that protected area hiking has become one of the most nature-based type of wellness activity today, which provides important revenue for the local community. And it's also a very important segment. As we can see, several rural destinations has been developed in recent years to facilitate visitors, which now they are more demanding for a deeper experience with nature. So Smith actually highlighted that hiking is an activity that provides holistic experience with a high potential to stimulate most of our mental and physical well-being. All right, so just before I go further, because I can see a lot of international participants here, let me just brief you where is Mount Kinabalu located. So as you can see here, we have the Malaysian map. So Malaysia is divided into two parts, the West Malaysian and the East part of Malaysia. So we are in the Borneo Island, Sarawak and Sabah. And Mount Kinabalu is located in Kota Kinabalu, about 2 hours drive from the Kota Kinabalu city. And you have to take flight from Kuala Lumpur, about 3 hours flight to reach Sabah. All right, so we hope after the pandemic is over and we can travel freely again, there will be more and more direct connection flight from KK to every part of the world. Yeah. So yeah, let me present you our Sabahan pride. This is Mount Kinabalu. So above, it stands above 4,095 above sea level. So Mount Kinabalu is the highest mountain in Malaysia. And for us, the indigenous people of Sabah, it's not only an ordinary mountain, but it's a sacred mountain for us, as we believe that our ancestors' spirit will go after death. All right, so we call the mountain as Aki, which means grandfather, Aki. All right, in our local language, yeah. So aside from being significant to our belief, the Mount Kinabalu is also a paradise for nature lovers. So before I go further, let me just give you a fun fact to all the nature lovers out there. So I would like to share to you one of the mountain's treasure. So the Mount Kinabalu is not only the highest mountain, but it's also where you can discover the world's most expensive orchid. I realize that not so many people are aware of this because it was not well promoted due to its vulnerability. Yeah. So the official name of for the orchid is Rothschild sleeper orchid. But for us, the local people, we call it the Sumazau orchid, since the flower's long sweeping side petals, if you can see here, it resembles the outspread arms of the Sumazau dancer. So Sumazau is a traditional dance of the Kadazan Dusun, and the movement is like just the two people here. If you can see, the two people are dancing. So that is the Sumazau. And how we dance our Sumazau dance is by outspreading our arms, just like the bird flying in the sky. Why? Because this dance is inspired by a flying patterns of the eagles. When the farmers in the past, they were resting by the paddy field during the harvest season, they witnessed the eagles and they started to actually dance according to the eagles flying pattern. So I would say every Sabahan or even Malaysian, they know this dance. All right, so if you come and visit us one day, I'm sure the Sabahan will not only treat you with good food and good drinks, but we also bring you for singing and, of course, dancing the Sumazau. All right, that's a promise. Okay, let's go back to, Let's go back to the orchid first before we go to the mountain. So why is it so expensive? The first one is because you can only find it in the slope of Mount Kinabalu, and not the whole Mount Kinabalu. Is only between 500 to 1,200 meters in altitude. And second, it's highly endangered and highly protected by the Malaysian government. Because why? It takes 15 years to bloom. What a long time, huh? And of course, it's well protected. So we can only estimate the market pricing in the black market, which can go up to 5,000 USD per stolen stem. That's insane, isn't it? All right. But that's a treasure. That's a real treasure. That's for sure. All right. So let's go back to the mountain. Now, I would like to talk about climbing experience. A study by Chung and Lee, they mentioned that any hikers experiencing spiritual connection to the adventure that includes several elements like real or perceived risk and danger, uncertain outcome of the climb, sensation upon achievement, and most of all, the testing of one perseverance is what we actually experience throughout our hiking. It's also related well with the quote by Sir Edmund Hillary when he stated that the mountain is not actually the one that we conquer by reaching the summit, but it's ourselves. So I completely agree with this because every time I go for a hike, whether it's a mountain or it's just merely a hill, the journey starting from the beginning point and the peak is totally a holistic experience, and it's a serious mental game that goes along with the climb. Yes, I can assure you the ascending a mountain is a sensation that is difficult for us to describe. Personally, from my trekking experience, although I'm not a professional hiker, I just go hiking from time to time, but I do climb several mountains in Malaysia as well as outside of Malaysia. There's a lot of things that I know I need to improve myself, especially on my weaknesses. So my biggest weaknesses will be the feeling of regret. Okay, yeah, the feeling of regret in the middle of the climb. Can you believe that? Regret in the middle of the climb when I start to question myself, why did I do this to myself, you know? And this is when I reach the hardest part of my climb. So every people, they will have different part of the climb which gonna be their hardest. But for me, it's always gonna be the part when I look up and I see that the summit is already visible to my eyes, but when I look to the front, I realize that I still have long way to go. And that time I'm already exhausted from the past few hours of crawling, like climbing between rocks and normal staircase. And sometimes the weather makes it more difficult for me to endure. You know, I vividly remember when I was almost reaching the peak of Mount Fuji in Japan, the wind suddenly becoming so strong that I was shoved away for a few times as if somebody big is pushing me away every time I try to move one step ahead. So I need to hold and grab fast to my stick in order to support myself from falling from the route because it's getting steeper and narrow. All right, but I remember the part where even though I was worried and fear because of the climbing, I remember I still have the time to tell my friend because to ask her to be extra careful because of her petite size. I told her you might be forcing back by the wind back to Tokyo. And of course, we laugh hysterically at the thought about it for a while because we thank God it's not happening. If you know where is Mount Fuji and how far Tokyo is, yeah? So that is the moment when I feel like I really wanted to give up. But like I said earlier on, ascending a mountain is a true mental challenge. It's all in your head that might push you to go further or complete the race between you and yourself, or maybe you can just call it a day. All right, but of course, it's undeniably difficult, but it's also doable. And always the rewards will genuinely waiting for us once we reach the peak, because that is where the magic happens. All right, so let me walk you through the route of Mount Kinabalu. A typical hiker will normally spend about 2 days hiking through the lush jungles of the Bornean forest, roughly about 6 kilometers. So it will take about 4 to 6 hours, depending on your fitness level, before arriving at the Laban Rata rest house for an overnight stop. The elevation around Laban Rata is already above 3,000 meters above sea level. And the second part of the hike will begin as early as 2 o'clock in the morning or 2:30 in the morning to reach the peak on time to see the sunrise. You know, I remember so well my first experience watching sunrise from the peak of Mount Kinabalu. How the explosions of color unleashed by the rock masses is simply fantastic. To top it all off, the color of the horizon changed from purple. It's changed for every passing minute, you see. So from purple to blue, from blue to pink and to yellow and orange before everything turns so bright. So I wish sometimes I don't have to blink for a while because it's so beautiful. Then I realized that is how a glorious greeting the sun gives to the mountain, and how lucky I am in that moment to share the secret of the nature. Well, yeah, it's a feeling that now no words can convey. You yourself, you must experience, the hike, the magic, because you cannot get it right by watching it any video or listening to others from their experience. Because one thing for sure, it is a spiritual feeling that you can understand by being in the moment that you will remember for the rest of your life. And yeah, apart from that, what makes your trip to Mount Kinabalu is a complete journey is the company of the mountain guide. All right, so I personally have a lot of respect for these guides because they are one of the main reasons why we have a safe, entertaining, and motivating journey. So the mountain guides in Mount Kinabalu is a well-trained experts. Not only that they were trained well before they were hired by Sabah Parks, but majority of them are locals who actually grew up around the mountain. So going up and down the mountain is their playground, yeah, because they are accompanying their parents, and most of their parents are also the mountain guide themselves. So as a result, they really know the condition of the mountain. They can anticipate danger. They are skilled in narrating stories and history, the culture, the vegetation encountered along the way. And of course, they are great motivator. So motivation, like Dr. N mentioned earlier on, is very important to keep somebody to keep going. All right. So in this case, the mountain guide is the one who will comfort us to motivate us to hike if we tend to hike slower than others. Yeah. And I'm sure if you ask most climbers who or read any comments or feedback in any website, the experience in climbing the Mount Kinabalu is a wonderful one because of their mountain guide. Majority will actually tell you the same story of how their guide will comfort and motivate them by saying things like, come on, don't worry, you go with your own pace, you will arrive eventually. Or their famous motivation will be, come on, another 10 more minutes to go. So the 10 more minutes turns to 20 minutes, 20 minutes turns to 2 hours, and the place is still nowhere to be seen. What a motivation, huh? But one thing for sure, these mountain guides, they will always be patient and be there for you. All right, so another part of the mountain which is unique to be experienced apart from the mountain guide will be the porters. Yeah, I know what you guys thinking right now. How can this old uncle carry a large water tank to the mountain? I generally myself, I can only carry 2 small size of water bottle in my backpack every time I go hiking. And there were times in the journey that I thought of throwing my bag away because, your bag will become heavier every time you climb higher. So I truly don't know how to explain the capability in carrying huge loads for few hours going up to the mountain in that altitude. Yeah. So this is the common view that you will witness as you travel up and down the mountain. Porters in Mount Kinabalu, not only men, also the women who carry large loads, and normally they carry the hikers' luggage, but Apart from that, they also carry materials and items required by Laban Rata Rest House. Some, when we interviewed them last time, some they even can carry up to 50 kilograms per trip, which leave me speechless of how they can do it. Again, these people deserve a lot of respect. So, yeah, for us, the Sabahan, Mount Kinabalu is more than just a mountain. All right, it has been and will continue to be a spiritual and cultural focal point for Sabah tourism and culture. So in ancient pagan tradition, the sacrifice of chicken will be done to appease the mountain spirits. Local shamans, which we call as bobohizan in our local language, are the ones who will perform the complex ritual. However, in the local the local community in the mountain area, starting to embrace religions, they gradually pass the ritual responsibility to those who still perform it. So, yeah, it is still performed today, as we believe that it needs to be held annually in order to make sure that the safety and well-being of those who visit the park and climb the mountain. And regardless of what religion, the entire community of Sabah local ethnics, not just the Kadazan Dusun, we share the same belief and respect for this ritual. All right? So, 30th May 2015. A group of 10 Western tourists who had already been briefed about how sacred the mountain is to the local people of Sabah purposely stripped and urinated at the mountain's peak and shouted vulgarities at the mountain guides who tried to stop them from doing so. So 6 days later, June 5th, 2015, the entire nation, particularly us in Sabah, we were shocked by one of the worst earthquakes in history with magnitude of 6.0, which lasting about 30 seconds. Well, if you're wondering and you ask me if earthquake is common in Sabah, no, it's not. Yeah, even we do feel some tremors from time to time, but normally it's because they're coming from our neighboring countries like the Philippines and Indonesia. And Sabah, apart from the official name Sabah, we also well known as the land below the wind. The reason why, because of our location, Sabah location is just below the typhoon belt of the Philippines and away from the nearest plate boundary in the region of a very low historical seismicity. That is why we can read a lot of report from the experts claiming that the Mount Kinabalu 2015 earthquake came as a complete and deadly surprise to everyone. Well, it was. It is actually one of the worst nights for all of us in Sabah. Approximately 137 climbers were stranded on the mountain. And we are very fortunate because we have all these mountain guides and porters, which they came to assist the National Rescue Team in leading the way up in the dark, even though it's dangerous because there are still a lot of aftershocks. Yeah, there are a lot of fallen rocks from the earthquake that occurred earlier that day. Unfortunately, 18 people were killed. And a week after that, we still can feel tremors everywhere in the mountain area. All right. So because of this, the aftermath of the tragic event, a few rituals were performed by a number of cultural associations and local community to appease the guidance of Mount Kinabalu. This is because most of us believe that our Aki was enraged by the irresponsible behavior of the hikers. I realized things get much better after that, after all these rituals were done. And I believe that even though the rituals are not scientifically proven, I think it is more to cultural practices that help the community in diffuse our feeling of upset, anger, and grief by providing a greater sense of control. Yes, I know most of you will think that this defies logic in modern thinking, but you see, Mount Kinabalu is not the only sacred mountain in the world today. If you look on the internet, you will find a lot of huge number of sacred mountains all over the world. I picked the famous three to give you an example. So the first one, we have the Mount Kailash in Tibet, where Hindus and Buddhist pilgrims consider the trek to the mountain to be sacred undertaking that will cleanse their past sins. Then we have the Mount Fuji in Japan, which is sacred to Shinto religion, as it believed to be the gathering place for the spirits of deceased ancestors, just like our Aki in Sabah. All right, and the prayers and ritual that they perform while they are hiking is to be offered for protection from the volcanic eruptions as well as from fire. Then the last one will be one of the famous mountain, which is Mount Sinai in Egypt. This is very sacred to the Jews, Christian, and Muslims because they believe God gave the law, including the 10 commandments on this mountain. So not just mountain, we have a lot of sacred places or sacred sites almost in every part of the world. And I realized that from my visit to these places, they will usually put up signage to remind visitors to respect the sacred site, and some will even impose penalties for inappropriate behavior. And because of what happened to Mount Kinabalu in 2015, the Prime Minister's Office of Malaysia issued an official statement saying that science may not have an answer for what happened, but it is critical to respect a mountain or a place if it's sacred to the local people. Furthermore, the international community today is increasingly recognizing traditional and local knowledge today. Yeah? And even if we refer to UNESCO, there is a statement that emphasizes the importance of science collaborating with indigenous knowledge because it's much more appropriate and effective in contributing to global challenges and achieving sustainability and resilience. Well, I would say that it's a blessing in disguise about what happened because today we can see that the Mount Kinabalu guides, they are much more well recognized and respected by the whole nation. Now they're becoming a symbol of bravery and courage. They also call our nation unsung heroes. Yeah. And if you want to learn more about local and indigenous knowledge, you can visit the UNESCO website under links, which is short for Local and Indigenous Knowledge System. Is actually an agenda that was included in Agenda 2030 and also in the Paris Agreement about recognizing local and indigenous knowledge because of their long history and interaction with natural surrounding. And tourism, in tourism, particularly in health and wellness segment, it is often associated with place with local communities. It is much more important for us to realize it is time for a call for protection and benefit sharing so that individuals or local communities understand their rights to control access, particularly for those who frequently exploit indigenous knowledge for profit without consulting or even involving the community. So for me personally, one aspect of wellness tourism is about your spiritual experience, which basically connects you in a personal way with the people and place that you are visiting. And we could say that it's a wonderful shared experience because we will remember it for a long time. Well, we need to always remember also respect is very important for the local cultures because it's essential in order to find the authenticity of your travel experience. All right, so, and with that, I will end my presentation today. But before that, I will bring you for a short experience climbing the Mount Kinabalu. This video was published by one of the well-known agents in Sabah, Amazing Borneo. And the lady hiker who is in this video is a very close friend of mine. So yeah, let's enjoy the video. Okay. So don't forget to book your flight and come to Sabah once you're allowed to travel. So make sure you come, explore your spiritual and have a spiritual experience with the Mount Kinabalu. Conquer it and conquer yourself. And with that, thank you, stay safe, and always respect each other. Back to you, Dr. Zahra. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Madam Silverina, for the fruitful information about our first UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Indeed, it was a tough journey to reach the peak of Mount Kinabalu. Right, again, thank you very much, Madam Silverina, for the information. We really enjoyed the session, and now we are going to begin answering the questions submitted during today's presentation. As a reminder, you can still submit questions through the chat box in your control panel. Right, Madam Silverina, I have several questions here. All right, from Era Nazira. Right, she asks, what are the unique features of Mount Kinabalu that made it into one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites?
Thank you for the question. Actually, it's not Mount Kinabalu is the one who really have the certification, is the national park, the one that you will start your journey to the Mount Kinabalu. And why it's certified as UNESCO site? Because of its outstanding universal values and the role as one of the most biological sites in the world. They have about 4,500 species of flora and fauna, 326 different birds, and more than 100 different species of mammals. So that's the reason why they've been recognized as the UNESCO site. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a second question here from from Valerie Chan Siu-Lin. Right, her question is, do you see evidence of awareness among the younger generation in making effort to preserve Mount Kinabalu?
Nice question. All right. Actually, yes, we can see more and more younger generation actually to climb the mountain. All right. After the experience, you can see that they're posting pictures and promoting the preservation efforts. By telling people about the importance to taking care of the mountain. All right. And we also receive news from Sabah Parks as they always receive overwhelming response from our younger generation, especially students from universities as well as high school, to be part of their volunteer programs in cleaning up the mountains. And in fact, the cleaning up not because of trash, actually, it's because some part of it is trash, like cigarette butts and this and that. But most of it is because to clear the dandelion. All right. So, that's beautiful, pretty, cheeky plant is actually an invasive killer on Mount Kinabalu. So it's not native and it's very heavily invasive. So this is what they're doing every year. And they can see that a lot of response from the younger generation to do that. And they need these people because they have the energy to go up and down to clear the dandelion. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a great effort. Right, next question number 3 here from Ahmad Ridwan Abu Bakar. His question is, MCO, Movement of Control Order, leads to temporary suspension for climbing tours. Does the heritage sites offer other wellness destination options?
During MCO, I don't think there's any, because we go to the website, they keep informing us about when is the next climbing, all the dates. I supposed to climb the mountain this year, and I've been waiting for the past months, and it's keep on postponing. So we are still waiting for it. And as far as I'm concerned, the park is actually currently is trying to, to repair and doing a lot of improvement for the hikers to have a much more, a much more better hike. The facility especially, yeah. So I don't think there's any, yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have 3 questions from one participant here, Jessica Moss. Yeah, she said that your presentation truly piqued my curiosity. Right, just a few questions. Yeah, she asked about the title of your talk, Spiritual Experience with Mount Kinabalu, Malaysia's first UNESCO World Heritage Sites. To clarify, it is Kinabalu Park that is the UNESCO World Heritage Site and not Mount Kinabalu itself. Yes or no?
Yes, it's true. Yeah. But the mountain is actually surrounded by Kinabalu Park. And Kinabalu is the one that being recognized by UNESCO. And before we climb, is actually you will experience the beauty of the lush jungle and the flora and fauna that actually available in the park before you start ascending the mountain. And of course, whenever we want to talk about Mount Kinabalu, we always relate it with the experience with the UNESCO site, because your experience will begin with going through the national park of Kinabalu itself. So yeah, I think it's really connected, even though the mountain itself is not the one that being recognized, but the experience as a whole is actually under the UNESCO site as well.
All right, thank you very much, Madam Silverina. Her second question, right? I understand that the Kadazan Dusun tribe is divided into multiple subgroups. When you say Mount Kinabalu is sacred to the Kadazan Dusun tribe, is the notion sacred across all the subgroups of the Kadazan Dusun tribe?
It is. Everyone actually, even not part of the indigenous culture tribe, I realized that the value and the respect for this mountain is also there, because I think we grew up listening to the stories of our forefathers and even from other elders about how how sacred the mountain is for everyone. So yeah, it's across Sabah actually, but particularly to the Kadazan Dusun ethnic. And of course, under Kadazan Dusun, we have a lot of other sub-ethnics. So everyone's included. Yeah.
All right, Madam Silverina, we have one more question, which is the last one. Right, and again from Jessica Moose. She asked, regarding the annual pilgrims of Mount Kinabalu, forgot what it is called, perhaps you can help me recall, how has this pilgrims worked to revive the spiritual connections of the Kadazan Dusun communities to the mountain? Also, what's the current state of the local government supporting in ensuring the pilgrims is here to stay?
Can I have the last part, Dr. Zara?
The last part. What's the current state of the local government support in ensuring the pilgrim is here to stay?
Oh, all right. Okay, so yes, the pilgrimage, it's not really annual pilgrimage, it's a ritual. All right, so we are doing ritual every year because it is believed that we can appease the mountain spirits, right, in order to make sure that everyone who visited the mountain, especially the climbers who climb the Mount Kinabalu, they will have a safe journey. So yeah, this is so well connected with our Kadazan Dusun community, because having a Bobo Hizan in our culture is very important until today. In fact, not only for the mountain, even if we are in our normal livelihood, I mean, like if we wanted to build a house or open a farm, we will invite the Bobo Hizan as well to have another point of view about whether or not we should proceed with our plan early on. And every year we have one particularly very big event that all of us, the community in Sabah, will celebrate to actually to pay our respect and to give our thanksgiving, because we believe that rice is very important to our culture. So it is very important for us to pay back, to give back to this ritual, to do this ritual in order to show that we are very thankful for whatever that we receive in that year. And yes, the government are very supportive. In fact, most of our, we have one government officer, or not only government, is like a minister who actually represent the community and the ethnic community in Sabah. So he will always be the spokesperson for us, and so far we don't have any problems with that. Even the governments are encouraging and even supporting in every activities or festival that we are doing here in this state.
Okay, thank you, Madam Silverina, for that detailed explanation. And again, thank you very much for the sharing session. And I've learned a lot from your presentation and also through the question and answer session. Right, before we proceed, please switch on the camera so that we can see you. Maybe we have another photo session after this, right? And again, thank you very much to our honorable speakers, Professor Dr. N and also Madam Silverina. Right, before we end the webinar, Here with us today, our Honorable Associate Professor Dr. Hashim Fazil Arifin, our Head of Center Studies, Faculty of Hotel and Tourism Management from Universiti Teknologi Mara, Pulau Pinang branch, to give his closing remarks in today's event and to end the program. Please welcome Associate Professor Dr. Hashim Fazil Arifin.
All right. Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a very good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Zara. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Paitun, even though she's not here, okay, my heart is always for her, Dr. Paitun, and Dr. Anne, my friend, Silverina, my friend, our two honorable speakers, the Secretariat, Dr. Andy, Dr. Zahra, Miss Rasmi Islam from NIDA, Dr. Wasida from NIDA, Madam Irina, Madam Johanna, Encik Faizal, our viewers, our spectators from all over the globe. I was meant to understand we have many spectators from all over the globe. My friend, ladies and gentlemen, this topic is actually very close to my heart, spiritual and wellness tourism, because once you are contained in one place, when you are being asked to sit in one place for a long, long time, that makes us try and rethink and remember, okay, what is the reason of us on this life, right? But anyway, I'm not trying to be so sober. So no, I'm trying to be positive, cheerful as always. But my point here is life is too short. Whatever faith that you embrace, we always believe that there is a karma, or if in Islam, we always believe that there is a kifara. You do good to others, the goodies will come back to you. You do bad thing to others, the bad thing will come back to you. But my point here is the wellness, the spiritual is part and parcel of us in our life. So with this seminar or webinar, all right, it really put us back to our root, okay? Because some folks believe that, some folk believe this, and that's why we have this webinar so that we can share, okay, the understanding, the knowledge, and the belief from other faiths. And I hope that, okay, will not be the end. Okay, I want to hear, perhaps in the future, we want to hear the feedback or the experience from our friend in Philippines. I was made to understand we have participants from Philippines, we have participants from Iraq, okay, and of course we have, if I may look back to our, we have from Italy and of course from China as well. So if we have a wider spectrum of discussion, it will be more meaningful or more fruitful. But anyway, okay, if I may add, Prof. and your topic, it's so interesting because of life is too short, be happy, all right? And of course, Madam Silverina, your topic is so interesting because of we need to remember our root, where we come from. Wherever you go, remember the birds. Wherever you go, you fly. Okay, or you are the salmon. Wherever you go, if you want to make babies, you come back from where? The place that you were given birth last time, the salmon fish. But anyway, okay, I really enjoyed the presentation. And of course, you see that we hope that there are more peace in this world. Okay, like the question is Miss Universe or Miss World. The last question, the last answer in their Q&A session is world peace. With that, hasta la vista, hasta luego, ciao, assalamualaikum, and a very good day. Back to you, Dr. Zahara.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Associate Professor Dr. Hashim Fazil, for the closing remarks. Before we end, we would like the participant to switch on again the camera so that we can take a group photo. Yeah. All right. Ready, everyone? So, Mr. Faisal, are you ready?
Okay. Wait. We will snap page by page.
All right.
All right. For the first page. Okay. Smile. 3, 2, 1. Cheese. Okay. Another one. 3, 2, 1. Cheese. Okay. Second page. Okay, I can't see your picture. So please open your picture. Open your camera so that your face will be part of the picture. 3, 2, 1. Cheese. 3, 2, 1. Cheese. Okay, for the all right. Okay.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Faisal. Once again, thank you very much, our distinguished speakers, honorable guests, and thank you everyone for attending. Right, again. Okay. All right. Once again, thank you, our distinguished speakers, honorable guests, and thank you everyone for attending today's webinar, Health, Wellness, and Sport Tourism webinar. All right. The QR code for the attendance and e-certificate will be available shortly. Kindly click on the link for attendance and e-certificates for your e-certificate. Right. Please take note that it is only available for only 15 minutes. Right. On behalf of the organizer, right, and our presenters, thank you for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day and stay safe. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Bye, everyone. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Bye, Dr. Anne. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zara.
Thank you. Bye.
That's good presentation, Silva.
You too. I learned so much.
Oh, thank you.
Anne.
Thank you.